Yeah, it is. Creativity is the addiction. You lay awake at night, people steal from it in the daytime. You feel empty, you feel energized, just tearing you apart because creativity is an addiction. But we need to come together right now. Post-COVID-19, it's still around. You got the Delta variant right now that's just beating the hell out of us. We need each other to get this generation growing forward. Find where your energy is and let's create in the name of tomorrow. Unplug, because we will always say yes to creativity, totally uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. I got to tell you right now, and this is not confession day or anything like that, but I got to tell you, I am a Google Calendar fanatic. In all things I do, it's because this app makes sure that I'm on time. Now, sadly, though, I feel like that every day is a guilt trip because of Google Calendar. I forgot about this. I forgot about that. But Google Calendar, it's still sitting there going, you should have been there. I was here. You should have been there. There's no discipline when it comes to Google Calendar, and I wish they would come up with something that says, hey, you idiot. This is where you were supposed to be. Let's move it. Let's correct this situation. I would love to hear something, a voice, an email, something that says, hey, let's grow beyond your laziness. Maybe some sort of AI, a connection that says, how did your interview go today? Did you actually meet up with the Jamie Lee Curtis? Did you really? Alexa never asks me about my day. She never does. I'm the one that's always bringing up the subjects. Boy, it sure would be nice if these digital devices took a part in my personal growth. You know, like Dave in that movie, you know, what was it, Space Odyssey? I would love to hear Alexa argue with me sometime like Dave did. To call me out when I'm wrong, to say things like, stop trying to be a know-it-all. Will there one day be a headline that doesn't need to have the attention of my soul, and maybe Alexa and Siri can say, hey, I got something for you. Have you ever thought about this? I want them to think that my life matters to them, even though they are an AI, because they matter to me. I mean, where would I be without Google Maps? Man. The way we live today, is it a place of peace, or are we destructing ourselves? Huh? Hey, it's Arroe. This is the Daily Mess. You know what's so funny about this? Here's the reason why I'm laughing. I've been daily writing for 27 years. I want to put a little footnote in here for that daily writer in 1994. Google Maps. Let me explain to you in 1994 what Google Maps is. Let me tell you what Alexa is. Writer in 1994. Oh my God, that daily writer in the 1990s, in the early part of this millennium. Didn't know what this was. I remember when the first computer came into my life, man. It was somewhere around 1996, 97. It was allowed into our studio, and it was like, what? You mean I don't have to buy the USA Today anymore? All of this information is on this computer? How do you use it? And I'm sure if you're a Generation Z or a millennial, you're going, shut up. Dude, this has been a part of our life since the beginning. Well, I came from somewhere else then. Hey, Sarah, this is the Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer. And man, I invite you to go through my daily writing, to see what it was like to live in a world where the computer had not taken over yet. It's there. I want you to have it. I want you to see what it was like to evolve into this generation where AIs are taking over. And because it's part of the revolution, the evolution, the personal growth, and the corporate growth of what it is. And that's why I like daily writing. And that's why I always invite you to just pick up a pen. I don't want you to do it on a computer, because a computer, you can erase it easily. I want you to personally get involved with the page. And if you scratch it out 1 billion times, I'm okay with that, but eventually you'll stop. This is the Daily Mess. The brushstrokes of a writing nib onto the surface of a sheet of paper. As a writer, the painting is that of presence. Being here in the now. As a future reader and a future listener, because I don't know where you are right now. Today just happens to be July 12th, 2021. You could be in 2028 right now. As a future listener and a future reader, I can't help but think about what you are receiving. You see, in radio, it's all about what the listener benefits from. What did I do in this conversation that you can take and put in your life? That's how I work out my podcast interviews every day. With such an amazing global reach, how are you receiving in the age that you are living? Like I said, the digital age. You could be listening to this in 2035. Here I am in 2021. I might already be dead. How are you? You doing good? Did you pick up that writing instrument yet? Did you put something down on a page? I'm just asking because I care and I know what writing has done for me for 27 years. It's the most brilliant experience that you will ever go through. More importantly, dear future reader, dear future listener, this is the way it was. I hope that you learn from it. While out there on the front line, and I got to quit saying that because we're back to a normal way of living, and being out on the front line doesn't mean crap anymore. While out there in front of large amounts of people, and I'm talking about for amazingly long hours. I'm so sore, I'm so tired, and I know you are too. The goal is to be a connection and not a distraction. To put yourself in a position where you are the solution and not part of the problem. Brushstrokes on a page. Staying free of the rage. Listening to the evolution of a society who wants to have compassion but doesn't know its own weaknesses. My early days of radio, I could hear listeners' voices because that's how we connected on this thing called the telephone. Not a smartphone, the telephone. Usually a 1-800 number. They'd call in. We'd talk. We'd get to know each other. Today, all we have are emails and text messaging. I can't hear your voice. Therefore, my heart determines the temperature of your subject. Whew. Do you know what ghosting is? A lot of that takes place because we assume we know what you're saying. The brushstrokes of a writing nib onto the surface of a sheet of paper. When you come into these books, and I do invite you to come into these books, you're not ever going to know what the temperature was. Because it's just words on a page. And now you know why I come here to share it with you vocally. Because now you get to hear my heart. It's time for the world to hear your heart. It's a choice. It's a massive choice. It's curiosity as well as courageousness. It's the ability to make a connection to help somebody that may not even be born yet. But because you took the chance to reach forward, somebody in 2051 is going to say, "You spoke to me? Did you know me in 2021? I must have. Because if you just received it, then I must have known you. We're coming." I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.